Hey guys, it's your girl D here with 8th House Energy, and I'm here to bring you your full moon and Aries video. Um, the full moon is going to be on October 20th of this month, which is going to be on Wednesday. I'm recording this video on Friday, a couple of days prior, because you could be feeling the energies as soon as now, depending on, how sensitive you are intuitively to the moon energies. So I'm doing things a little bit differently for this video. I'm going to be channeling in this video. I'm not doing any cards. I feel like the messages that I'm supposed to be giving you are not going to be related to actually laying out tarot cards, but these messages are going to be related to you in reference to how these energies are going to be affecting you, okay? So I feel like these energies are going to be affecting you between now and the new moon in Scorpio, which is going to be on November 4th, okay? So just keep in mind. So what's going on is the houses that are going to be affected are your first house, your fourth house, your seventh house, and your 10th house. And this is going to be for the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. You guys are the cardinal signs because cardinal signs talk about initiating things. If you take a look at all four of these signs are the initiators of the zodiac. They are the ones who change things. They're the ones who go about changing things. Because if you look at Aries, Aries is the change from winter to spring. Cancer is the change from spring to summer. Libra is the change from summer to fall. And Capricorn is the change from fall to winter. So these four signs are the cardinal signs. They're the initiators. They're all about making change, okay? And the energies that we're looking at is we're looking at the moon, which is in Aries, a cardinal sign. The moon is going to be opposing Mars. Mars is in the cardinal sign of Libra. And then Mars is going to be squaring Capricorn. Capricorn is a cardinal sign as well. Mars is actually going to be squaring Pluto, and Pluto is in the house of Capricorn, which is also a cardinal sign. So we're dealing with initiating energies, changing energies. You guys are used to these energies anyway. You're used to initiating change wherever you have these placements in your chart. Okay, so I just want to talk to you about what you could be experiencing here in the houses where these energies may affect you over the next 2 weeks, okay? Because they're going to be very potent energies because we're dealing with the moon opposing Libra, all right? I'm sorry, the moon opposing Mars, right? And we're also dealing with Mars squaring Pluto, okay? And we're also dealing with the full moon squaring Pluto. All right, so these are very potent, transformative energies. We know the moon deals with your emotions, your feelings, and your intuition. Okay, we know Mars is an aggressive energy. It's all about taking action and taking action now. Mars is the god of war. So we need to be careful with our emotions and feelings at this time. All right, and then we have Pluto. Pluto is about power struggles. Okay, it's about death and rebirth in every aspect, okay? And it also deals with intuitive energies. So we're dealing with people's emotions and feelings opposed to, the intensity. It's like a lot of intensity, emotions, and feelings. Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio, so we're dealing with very scorpionic energies, which can be very... I hate to use this word, but for lack of better terms, on the negative side of things, it could be very toxic energy, okay? So we do need to be careful because we know Pluto, if we break it down and be very simple with it, the worst case scenario could be Mars is all about war and aggression. Pluto's all about death and rebirth, okay? And if we're talking about the scorpionic energy of Mars and Pluto, we're dealing with hidden feelings, hidden emotions, ulterior motives, death and rebirth. Now that's the raw end of it, the absolute worst case scenario. But we have gray all in between. So we're going to talk mostly about the gray, but you do need to be aware that Mars and Pluto together don't play. Okay? And the moon as well, it is very dangerous energy. So you need to be aware of your surroundings, you need to be aware of your emotions, and you need to know that people can be triggered. So it's not even about dealing with you and your emotions, it's the people around you as well. We all want to count to 10. It's very important. We're going to be dealing with a lot of lunar energies as we go out of the year. Okay, because a lot of people we're wrapping up karmic energy here. We're wrapping up karmic energy of coming out of Libra season where everybody's getting their karma. So now we're dealing with wrapping up the emotional ramifications of ending karmic cycles, ending karmic relationships, coming out of the lunar nodes of North Node in Gemini, South Node in Sagittarius. So we're dealing with a lot of lunar energies, okay, between now and the end of the year. So we got to really be careful with our emotions. All right, not just individually and what's going on in your world, but the people around you as well as globally. So we're all being affected by these emotions. So let's talk about Aries. So Aries, the moon is going to be in your first house. All right, so the moon is opposing Mars. Mars is in the seventh house. So your first house is opposing your seventh house. So the first house is all about your self-awareness, and it's opposing your relationships and your business contracts. Now, where you're going to see this show up at is you're going to see it show up in your 10th house. Now, your 10th house talks about your reputation, your career, your morals, and your goals, okay? The best example I can give you of this is if you are basketball fans and you understand Kyrie Irving and what he's going through right now. So, for example, the first house is about self-awareness. So Kyrie Irving is observing how he feels about things. Your first house is how you feel about yourself, your physical appearance, your self-awareness, how you present yourself to others, all right? Versus the seventh house. So how he presents himself to others and his self-awareness in reference to his stance on, what's going on with the pandemic, and having prerequisites in order to play. For those of you who don't know, in New York State there is a law passed that the basketball associations, the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets, which is who Kyrie is with, the Brooklyn Nets, they don't allow players to play if the players have not gone to the doctor and taken care of what they need to take care of. It's required for them to play. If they decide not to take care of what the doctors want them to take care of in reference to this pandemic, you know what I'm saying, they can't play. So Kyrie's in a situation where he's like, I'm not going to the doctor. So now he's not able to play. So that's a clear example of his first house, his self-awareness, versus the seventh house, his relationships and his business contracts. The way that this is going to be manifested in his life, or where it's going to have an effect, is in his 10th house. His 10th house is his career. He's a basketball player. Okay, it also has to deal with his morals and his values and his life goals. All right, so that's the self-awareness is directly squaring his morals and his goals. Okay, and it's by way of his contracts. So basically, they're saying if you don't go to the doctor, you can't play. So he's like, well, I'm not going to the doctor, so I won't play. So there's a lot of that going on in the news right now as far as what's going on with him opposing that. So this is an example of what Aries could be dealing with. That's just an example. So it's basically going to be all about your self-awareness, how you present yourself and how you see yourself versus how other people want to see you or how other people want to connect with you. And it could have something to do with your contracts, your personal life, your love life, your friendships. All of that could be opposed to how you see yourself and your self-awareness and how you want to present yourself. And the way that it's going to manifest is in your 10th house energies, which is in your career. So some of you could be, your job could be telling you, hey, you can't dye your hair green and work here. We're a conservative environment. You need to have your natural hair color. Or it could be, as far as ethnicity, hey, you can't wear locks, because it's not traditional, it's not conservative in our environment. And so you're like, okay, well, I'm not working for you. I quit. So it's going to be something like that with you, Aries, in reference to your family members, it's either your family is going to oppose you, your friends are going to oppose you, your work environment is going to oppose you, and you're going to see this in the area of your reputation. How the world sees you, how people see you, not based on how you see yourself. So it's going to be you versus how you see yourself versus how other people see you. All right. So that's how Aries is going to be dealing with this. Cancer is going to be different for you. You're still going to be dealing with the first, the fourth, the seventh, and the 10th houses because each of you represent that. Aries represents the first house. Cancer, you represent the fourth house. So for you, the moon is going to be in your 10th house. The 10th house deals with your career, your reputation, your morals, and your goals. That is opposing your fourth house, okay? So your fourth house deals with your family life and your private life. So their 10th house is your public life. Your fourth house is your private life. So for you, Cancer, your public life is opposing your private life, okay? And the learning opportunity or the stumbling block as far as where you're going to see this manifested is you're going to see it manifested in your relationships or your business contracts. So an example could be, Cancer, you may have gotten a job, okay? You may be getting a job, or you may be signing a contract for a business opportunity, but this business opportunity is going to have a negative impact on your personal life, meaning there could be long hours, abnormal hours. Maybe you have to work weekends, but your family is like, no, you can't work weekends. We all need to, whatever it is that we're doing, we have to have weekends together. So the only thing that we can do on the weekends is if the kids have events and we can get together as a family and do that, then we'll do that. But there's a rule, say, for example, in your house where, no, you can't take a job where you're working the weekends. But this job pays a lot of money. It's the career that you want. It's what you went to school for, or it's something that you really are passionate about. And so where you're going to see the learning opportunity is in your seventh house. How are you going to relate this to your, how is this going to relate for you in reference to, you telling the job, look, I need to have weekends off. Okay, so the stumbling block could be you may have signed the contract and it's like, damn, they want you to work weekends, or you want to sign the contract, but they won't give you weekends off. That could be the stumbling block. The learning opportunity in this could be, okay, what's most important to me? Is there a balance, and can I work out a balance? So, when we say Mars is opposing, Mars is squaring Capricorn, we're looking at, squares look at learning opportunities. So Mars is going to be squaring Capricorn for you in this sense, where it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? Can I do this? Should I take this job? Another scenario could be with Cancer is the 10th house deals with the father. The 4th house deals with the mother. So the 10th house is in opposition. It opposes the 4th house. So you could be a Cancer where your mom and your dad are separating or going through a divorce, or they're having a bitter dispute. Okay? The stumbling block could be that, they're actually going to have to go through and sign a contract for divorce. Or this is going to have a direct effect on the family relationships. Okay? Or you could be the mother or the father where you're having problems with your child's mother, your child's father, your husband, or your wife. Okay? But it specifically has to do with your private life versus your personal life. It also has to do with your stance in the family as well. So you could say, no, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I feel is right. These are what my morals and values are telling me. And then the other parent could be like, no, this is what it is. And so the stumbling block could be the negative effect that it could have on the relationship between the two of you and the children, if there's children involved. So that could be what's going on with Cancer. All right. So those are examples of what you may be experiencing within the next 2 weeks, Cancer, with this Aries full moon up until we get to the new moon in Scorpio. And those things could carry on because, again, we're dealing with Mars and Pluto energy, which is definitely Scorpio. So we could see this play out all throughout Scorpio season as well. And I meant to say that with with Aries. Okay. So Libra, how is this affecting you? So Libra, your 7th house is opposing your 1st house. Okay, so the moon is in Aries in your 7th house. And Mars is in your 1st house. Okay, so your relationships and your contracts, all your relationships and contracts are opposing your self-awareness and how people see you. Okay, the stumbling block in this, or the learning opportunity, will be manifested in your 4th house, which is your family life or your private life. So, for example, Libra, you could be in a situation here where, the contracts that you've signed may go against how you feel about things. Okay? So you may have signed a contract where you feel like, okay, this contract, I want to sign this contract. It could be about a job. It could be about anything. I want to sign this contract, but it goes against how I want to be seen. It goes against how I feel about myself and how I want to present myself to the world. So it could be an example where, maybe you're asked to play a role. So you could be a man and you could be asked to play a role, as in, I want you to dress up as a woman in this role. Now, there's some men who are comfortable with that. A lot of comedians have done that in their career. But there are some men who are like, yo, I will never sign a contract, an acting contract, to sign, to dress up as a woman. Now, this could be the role it could be a role that could make you a lot of money. It could put you on a map. It's a comedy. Those sell pretty well. They could be presenting this to you in this type of way. And you're like, but wait a minute, that's not how I want people to see me. Although we know there's a character, but it's just the self-awareness of knowing that I played a role that I did not feel comfortable with. So the stumbling block would be, if you sign this role, how are you going to feel about yourself? Because it's going to be affected in your private life, okay, or your family life. How's your family going to feel about that? How are you going to feel about yourself? Because the fourth house also deals with how you feel about yourself, right? So that's the stumbling block. But the learning opportunity is, okay, what's most important to me? Is it important for me to get this role and get this money and to be popular, or is it important for me to, carry myself in a certain way, or to look a certain way to my family, or to present a certain way to my family, especially my sons? So it could be that type of scenario going on here with you, Libra. All right. So that's just an example of how you may be, just a general example. So you can apply this in any area of your life, but it's going to be your seventh house versus your first house. All right. Your relationships versus how people treat you. So, for example, it could just be your relationships in general. It could be a couple of relationships here where you've done everything you could to be, you wanted to keep the scales balanced, things be even between you two. But it's like you're always the one who's giving more. And it's to the point where you're getting tired of it. So it's like these relationships that you're in, some of them you're in relationships where people are taking advantage of you. Okay? So it's your seventh house versus your first house. Your self-awareness and how you want to present yourself. It's like, okay, you're getting me confused. I want to be fair, but I'm not going to be a pushover. So the stumbling block is, you have to look at yourself and how you presented yourself in a situation. The stumbling block was, okay, I gave too much. I gave in too much to this individual or to these individuals. The learning opportunity is you noticing that, you seeing that, and then taking the actions to correct it, whether you approach these people and let them know what you're not going to stand for and that this needs to be adjusted, or the fact that you may have to walk away from these people because they may feel like they're getting the better end of the stick, treating you the way they were treating you, and you're realizing, no, that's not how it works. I'm not getting the better end of the stick, and I want the better end. So, there could be some negotiation that has to be done, and if they're not willing to negotiate, then you're going to have to decide what you're going to do, Libra. All right? So that could be in a work environment as well as a personal environment. So this is the energies you're going to be looking at. So Capricorn is the final cardinal sign here. So Capricorn, you're looking at it in the sense of the opposite of what Cancer was looking at. So for you, Capricorn, it's your fourth house, which is your personal private life, versus your professional life and your career life. Okay? And the stumbling blocks or the learning opportunity are going to be manifested in your first house of self-awareness and how you want others to see you. So an example of this could be, with Capricorn, your mom and your dad could be going at it. Okay, and how they're going at it could be a stumbling block against you in reference to your self-awareness and how you want them to see you, or it could be a learning opportunity for you to take advantage of this and try to learn, what's going on. So it could be a situation where your parents, or you could be the parent, okay, in the situation. You could be the mother or the father, and you could be opposed the other parent in reference to how to raise your child, or where you want your child to be, or how you want things going with your child. But I feel like it's a energy in reference to, for some of you, it has to do with your children, because the fourth house deals with the mother, the 10th house deals with the dad, and so the fourth house is opposed the 10th house. All right. So if it doesn't have to do with, mothers and fathers debating on how they want to do things, and it, as a result, is having a direct reflection on you and how you see yourself, then it could also have to do with your private life versus your career. So, for example, Capricorn, it could be that your private life is neglected, your family life is neglected because you're working a lot. Right? So you're not able to really spend a lot of time at home. You're not really able to, spend a lot of time with your children or your family because you're working a lot. And so where that's going to be manifested as far as a stumbling block or a learning opportunity is going to be you looking at yourself like, okay, I realize that I have to make this sacrifice. You could be a single parent, and it's like, I got to work a lot. I don't have time to spend with my child, because I got to work and pay these bills. So it's like you have to weigh the pros and cons of, damn, it's either I work these weird ass hours and just make sure my kid has a babysitter and that they're safe and they're secure, and I don't get to spend a whole lot of time with them. Or, I don't have the money to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? I have more time to spend with my child, but we can't pay rent. We can't eat. You know what I'm saying? We can't, do the things that we need to do to survive. So you could be, questioning these things. And so the stumbling block is, damn, do I spend too much time at work? Am I not spending enough time with my children or my family? The learning opportunity is, how can I balance my time better? Once I am at home with my children or my family, how can I participate with them to let them know that, when I'm not here often, but when I am, I'm here 100%. So that's what the cardinal signs of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn are going to be dealing with this full moon in Aries energy, again, starting on October 20th. And then it's going to end with the new moon in Scorpio on November 4th. But because we're dealing with Pluto and Mars energies, these energies could play out all throughout the entire Scorpio season, which starts on the 24th of October and ends on, I believe it's the 21st of November. So we could be feeling these energies up till like the week of Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving. All right. So that's what I got for you guys. If you need a personal, my information's in the box below. Don't forget, I'm still doing, because of these tense energies, I'm doing tarot card readings 2, 3, and 4 at 50% off. See the community tab section about the promotional rate. If you want to know the types of readings I offer, just look in the box below. But if you have questions, email me. Do me a favor. Don't email me asking me what readings I offer, because you can see them right in the box below. If you want to know about the promotions, go to the community tab. I'll tell you those in the email, but I'm not going to make the whole list of the readings that I offer, because it's too long, and I might be out somewhere and you text me or you email me and I'm out somewhere. I don't have time to type all of that. So, no disrespect, but it's a lot. If you look in the box below, you'll see it's a lot, and there's no way you would expect anybody to type all that to you. So check that out if you want to know what I offer. And again, the promotions are going to be in the community tab. You'll see it. The promotions are going on all throughout Libra season. So take advantage. If you've always wanted a reading, it's 50% off of tarot card readings 2, 3, and 4. All right, I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next reading. Later, Aries. Later, Cancer. Later, Libra. Later, Cap City.